My name is John Jennings. Currently, I'm an associate professor in the visual studies program here at University of Buffalo. And I look at myself as a professional bender of time. The reason why I say professional bender of time is because comics are about rejuxtaposing images and sound and also representation in these really interesting ways. The reason why I became so interested in this idea of underrepresentation in comics, I was working on my tenure case at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and I was looking at issues around black masculinity and performance. And then the Masters of American Comics exhibition came out. But basically it was 15 of the greatest cartoonists to touch a quill pen, so to speak. And it was not the most diverse and on a lot of different levels. And so Damien and I started looking at these different aspects of how do we talk about comics in this really broader range. And that's where Out of Sequence came from, because to not show something is just as important as to show something, you know? So this issue of representation is something that's very important to me. And I kind of use comics as kind of like catalyst to talk about these issues. People look at comics as being this kind of like low art form, it's for kids. Comics are like this really kind of brazen, really powerful medium, because anyone can do a comic. You know, anyone can start drawing a comic and making, a comic book if you start doing images in a sequence, right? And so again, to show something and to not show something are equally as important. And so to not see yourself reflected in media, what does that say about like the human psyche? How does that affect you to not see yourself as a hero or to only see yourself as a villain? I teach a class called Semiotics and Visual Rhetoric, which is pretty much like the study of the construction and deconstruction of images. It's for communication design students. And so I try to like bring this idea of social justice or equity and representation or even ethical concerns into the classroom to talk about just how these particular images and different modes are being expressed. I look at myself as kind of a CJ, basically instead of a DJ, because DJs sample sound and kind of put them into these remixes. And the way that I think about knowledge and the way that I think about teaching and the way that I think about art making is that I'm actually seeing and reading things and just kind of like recomposing them according to my particular perspective and reintroducing those particular things into the public sphere. And so when I think about pedagogy, I also think about how we do research and we kind of fuse it together. And so I'm a CJ.